Warhead Junction too, that's a lot of ground to cover. So we'll see what happened in here that caused this thing to not be so clean. Let's go ahead and close the mystery box. It's going to be a big one. Of course, it is a Warhead Junction. Funny, though, because like I said, we'll be watching that 8-minute Warhead Junction as our final replay today. So it'll be an interesting comparison to see MVP Black. Clearly Grandmasters players, of course. Champions of the world. Compared to something like our Bronze 2 here, which is, I guess, an angry Brightwing. Alright, so let's do the top thing. I don't do this enough for you guys. When I jump into my games, it's just so easy for me to forget all the extra stuff that's going on in the back. And even when I'm describing, I'm going to grenade this, or let's lock on with this, I'm completely bypassing all the other stuff that has become priority. In fact, last week, someone asked me why wasn't I dodging Zul Bone Prisons? And in the end, it was because my priorities were a Artanis swap and avoiding a Ragnaros talent that actually wasn't taken in that case. So in this case here, he's done Empower Sulfurous. He's going to have that Sulfurous Hungers. We can expect him to do a build that relates to that. And he's going to go, and you need to be concerned a little bit with Hand of Ragnaros at level 7. This is where my mind's immediately going, so I don't think to even share these things anymore. But they're important. So let's break it down, and let's talk about first the stuff on our side, and then we'll pick out our 2 big deals on the enemy side. So on our side, let's picture our engagements. Our engagements are going to be probably, oh no. Well, first Diablo goes in. Diablo has no way to clear out the burst damage that's going to happen to him because he has a Brightwing healer. So this is all incremental heals that are going to happen infinitely and for free. So if the poke from the enemy side is lighter, it can be freely removed, which is nice for the team and one of the benefits of Brightwing. Of course, it's a big global map. She's taken Bribe, so we can expect her to teleport in late on to fights. This is Braun 2, so let's not make too many assumptions about that. But she took Bribe, so clearly she's going to take mercenary camps and then be somewhere else, using her powers. Cool, we can expect that much. Zul here has done his Bone Prison talent. Let's go ahead and see what that is. It's going to be his Shade. His auto attacks. He evades auto attacks, but it increases the cooldown. Basically, he's saying on the enemy side, he is concerned about Vala and a little bit of Ragnaros. Perfect. So he is now in a position to be an off-tank for a short amount of time. A very short amount of time. That is only going to be 3 seconds at a time that he can really tank, but it gets him into the engage. It lets him put out a Bone Prison, get a couple of strikes out, and let that first Scythe return to him. So he's our Bruiser. So Diablo engages, Bruiser engages. If they're currently taking damage, all is right in the world, and Kael'thas should be auto-attacking. We can say that much right now. That the sustained damage should run as long as the right people are being targeted. Cool. Sylvanas, probably going to go off and do her own thing a bit. Now we've got kind of pooled by both the Brightwing and the Sylvanas, who are both doing their own thing. Zul in the corner as well. Sylvanas has great sustained damage, so it's not an issue right now what's going on there. But we do need to be aware that this team is missing a heavy auto attacker, someone that's free and consistent. Zul has these windows of opportunity where he does his most damage, and then his spells are on cooldown for 8 seconds. Not so much with Sylvanas, but she'll still have these opening burst moments because the way her kit works, she runs in. Most just unload all their Withering Fires in one big go. And then after that, and then the Kael'thas is going to explode. What happens between the Flame Strike and the Flame Strike? How is there damage to go across this team that then makes them die? If we don't explode them in the opening onset, Lucio's going to heal them up. How can we maybe make a spec? How can we spec our Kael'thas to take advantage of that, perhaps? The big thing we're going to be looking for here in our Kael'thas, outside of all that, is going to be his convection, and if he's playing to a style, or if it's actually causing a detriment to the team. Are you getting efficient convections, or are you dancing around so much that your convections actually aren't getting value, they're not getting good hits in the first place, and the convection playstyle is putting you on that mindset that it's okay for you to dance that long. So think about Li Ming's, right? Arcane Orb Li Ming. She backs up, she fires a orb. She dances around, fires another orb. Well, that's not a very active Li Ming, but they have Magic Missile on a super short cooldown, so they always feel very active. How active are you on Kael'thas? Are you putting out your living bombs? Maybe with the free reset, are you using a smaller flame strike, which still does the same damage, but you can now have that for a bigger gravity lapse? Like, what's your actual impact outside of the convection time? And if it's just the convection time period that you are being really effective in, or having an impact, then we know that this is a huge problem here with the sustain heals of Lucio and the amount of tankability perhaps over there. So let's look at the other side as well. We've got the Ragnaros I talked about, who we do need to be a little concerned with. He's gonna hit an area, heal for 20% of the damage dealt. He might keep coming. Could be dangerous if we group up. But that's really not an issue until level 7. If he picks Hand of Ragnaros, hitting 2 enemies, restores 10 mana, not a big deal, but the cooldown is reduced by 2 seconds. That puts this down, and it's going to be way, way too frequent. In fact, he's empowered right now, so we're not seeing the cooldown here. I believe it is just 1 extra second. Let's actually check that out. Let's go find Ragnaros. So you got your Empower, so 4-second cooldown. So you can imagine if you're slamming on top of teams, you're now going down to a 2-second cooldown, and over again, that's going to cause some serious issues. If you're grouped up, right? And Zul and Diablo are very likely to be standing next to each other, and we could see some interactions like that. Muradin has chosen to go with his 3rd wind, which means he has a higher healing when he's out of combat. Base Muradin is going to heal per second when he hasn't taken damage for 4 seconds. This takes him up to 40% health. And then it slows down after that. It does a little bit more when he's below that threshold. So he has increased the amount of healing he is receiving, basically to say that he's going to absorb a ton of damage and then leap away. Once he leaps away, he'll be hanging out for about 4 seconds to get his health back, and then we'll re-engage. So if you're in a fight, and, you know, let's say you're in a fight here, and we got a bunch of words in the middle of the screen right now, but let's say you're fighting all over these words, right? And you know, get in this scrappy little fight, and you're fighting back and forth, and then Muradin jumps over this wall, never to be seen, apparently, and the fight continues to scrap onward. In about 10 seconds, Muradin's going to come back with full health. And if we forget that fact, it's going to be extremely dangerous. So we got to be aware of Muradin returning. Is that our highest priority yet, though? Don't know. Let's continue. So we got a Hot Pursuit Vala. Cool. So auto attack Vala. Lots of damage. Is there anything we can really do as Kael'thas about Hungering Arrows or anything like that? Not really. Medivh took some mana. We got moved together. Okay. So Medivh's going to be tricky. How tricky is a Bronze 3 or 2 Medivh? I don't know. But the shielding is probably what we should be concerned with. How would that mess with Kael'thas? Well, let's see. 5-second cooldown. Ooh. And we got a 7-second cooldown after 1 second. So he's got a shield for every flame strike that comes out. I guess we'll just have to judge then. So going in, Vala locks onto you. Clearly the biggest problem, but probably Rag's interaction and a returning Muradin would be your biggest concerns until we see Medivh and how good he is, and if he kicks butt, and if we're all running from the hills from him, then we can consider that an issue then. Let's get into it. Let's go ahead and zoom this out too, since we're going to be looking at the big picture. He's going to be throwing out strikes, and it is a big map too. So already I don't like the build just because it's convection, and with these big lanes with no real center thing like Infernal Shrines, it's just going to be tough to get this done. Even at level 16, 13, it's still going to be tough to get this quest done, the amount of damage that enemy team has. And this is fun too, because I've got to play a lot with Rackham in the past, and we're often doing an after-show game together. I'm not really watching exactly what he's doing, but his contribution has always been at least 20%, right? It's always been super solid. Getting a kill like that, that's pretty darn good. So it's fun for me, as someone who's gotten to play with him a lot, to kind of take this moment and think, yeah, it really Bronze, dude? I'm honestly impressed. You do a lot of good. So there's probably an impact problem then. Or perhaps some trust issues, right? You know, maybe when we're all playing together, he's right behind me. We're having a good time, and then you gotta go play with Hero League folk, and they're not quite the same. So Sylvanas died in the bottom to Medivh. Okay, well, we didn't see it. The dangers of rewinding here are too high. Nice hit. With an off-version replay. But we can assume then, as Rackame would have to assume right now, that Medivh's pretty dangerous and tricky, and we can raise him up on our priorities. And really, Vala hasn't been extremely aggressive. Rag's been a bit passive. Diablo's been able to farm the top just fine, which I guess means Rag has been doing his job. So, let's help out this decision here. We have a Brightwing. Unknown from our position and what we've been seeing, if Brightwing has a teleport ready, we can go ahead and cheat and see if she does. She does. Cool. No good way to know that if we're actually Rackame here. Sylvanas is heading to the bottom. Sylvanas died against Medivh. As far as I know right now, given the league that we're battling at, I say she sucks. And let's go to top. There we have a Diablo. There we'll probably meet up with the Brightwing. Likely this Zul, who at least have proven themselves in some way. So I feel like we're taking a chance here. Also, we take poke, range poke, and we put it with the tank and the support. Now, if the support goes to bottom, that's now support and sustain. So think about your mini comps. You got support and sustain in the bottom. Great. That's going to last a really long time. And even when Sylvanas runs out of Withering Fire, she's going to be fine. She's got great sustain damage. Things will come off cooldown. Her mana's not insane. In a burst support scenario, if you were to team up with Brightwing, Brightwing cannot remove the amount of damage that's going to go into you as a squishy in the first place to make you comfortable. And also, in between your 7-second Flame Strike cooldowns with its 1-second cast time, there's not going to be a lot of damage going on, particularly if they're healers on the scene. So here we don't know where the enemy is. You know, we can go ahead and hit this E and take a guess. Okay, so there's some folks in the middle. Looks like nobody's in the bottom, actually. Medivh is heading top. So here we can, you know, glean the future that he doesn't know about. But by going top, you make a tank and a burst. And a tank and a burst is just as powerful as the sustain and the support. Because the tank's going to zone for you, making you comfortable. And now you can get out your squishy damage. Now, you can see what we've done here. We've now taken a sustain, a burst, and the bruiser. And all the survivability of Diablo Brightwing is in the top with no damage to follow it up. Diablo's a bit of an interesting case, and same with Brightwing, because they do okay damage. Higher level Diablo does much higher damage, of course, depending on your Brightwing spec too. But in this case here, there's nothing that's going to happen in the top. Compared to, what do they got here? A tank, and oh, they did the same thing. Okay, so in that case, wow, let's take a gamble. What do you guys think? Oh, Rag's raining from the back. Well, that's incremental, the sustain and burst here. Yeah, so what are they fighting here? Oh, Muradin? Well, Lucio's pretty low, but I think we lose the top, and they win the bottom. Let's see what happens. Now, of course, our auto attacks here are going into some lane minions at the moment, but he's staying safe. Decent little hit there. Got 9 stacks at the moment. Cool. I'd like to see a free living bomb used rather than a big flame. Obviously, part of that touch this, if we want to do anything, it would be, you know, using the shapes and making sure that these chokes are taken advantage. By having anything over, of course, an open area or nothing at all, it's going to do no damage. So even if you were to miss, I'd rather see you miss here or even here rather than something like this. I actually see a lot of blizzards like that. Minor point, moving on. So, you got a Muradin. So what's going to kill you here? What are you afraid of? And what are you waiting for someone else to tank? Cool, so Zul decided eventually to get forward and tank. Excellent. But this is a level 4 Lucio with a level 4 Muradin. There's nothing to be afraid of here at the moment. So I would like to see you doing the zoning perhaps, maybe. I mean, look at this one. It's scary, right? But nothing's happening. Now you're out of mana, of course. So you're probably a little scared because of that. You got a free living bomb, though. I'd like to see the free one used. And then a nice little auto attack, but you're still over-favoring the convection, even in a scrappy fight like this. It is slowly getting you stacks, which will be very helpful later on, but I do feel like convection makes most players play to this really passive walk around. You gotta case the loopies. Oh, there's a lot of terrain inside that one. That's no good. So you run back, you're gonna get some mana. Ping that thing. Let them know. Diablo's still soaking top, so everything we do down here is victorious. If anyone wants to get tilted about what's going down here, this is a stupid fight. I hate it. Don't hate. Diablo's soaking the top. So the longer we keep this fight going currently, the more Diablo gets success. And while it's silly, you can now look at this as an opportunity to at least make this go as long as possible. And if nothing else, complete your convection stacks. All right, let's continue. So he walks back in. It's a serious case of the loopies, man. Oh, right on top of the terrain. Oh no. It's cool, man. I'm really excited. I love this though. I'm so excited for you because that's something you can fix today. Like just stop casting things on top of terrain. It's never gonna hit anybody there. That's great. Now that's like a league right there. Just jump yourself up to silver instantly. But in all honesty, I'm already seeing an opportunity. Mana tap. I know why you want to go for this, but I'm already seeing a really big opportunity for us to increase the impact of your build. Let's take a look at Kael'thas. All right, so convection here. This is causing you a huge issue. You're doing yourself a disservice here. You want to get stacks, but you were so minded on getting your stacks that the actual combat around you is failing. It's not creative. It's not impactful. They are large hits that are healed off and then removed. Maybe they hit the wrong target. You're hitting Muradins and supports. It's not hitting Valas because they're gonna vault away. Your top damage. So this is reinforcing this. It's not bad. Like there's nothing bad here. This isn't wrong. It's just there's a real cool opportunity for you to have a much higher impact by playing a different style. This is Warhead Junction. It's kind of confusing because it can be a short map, it can be a long map depending on everything and how it goes. I don't think convection's wrong, but I just want you to think about using your free living bombs to make sure you have mana for these convections. And when you start playing a more living bomb style and putting out small flame strikes on cooldown, you're going to see that the zone is just as powerful, particularly when you get up to something like 16 Fury of the Sunwell. Putting out a small one occupies almost the exact same space. I mean, if we remove this picture here and look at the ground, if you put a full flame strike here, it's almost overkill. Doing a tiny flame strike, there's very few heroes outside of maybe Tracer that's going to squeeze through there and not get hit. So already we've freed up with that mindset your Verdant Spheres, which can now be used for a second living bomb, a free one no less, and to get that out there. Gravity Lapse, I'm not so concerned about, but you're taking mana tap to get 4% maximum mana back. And I understand why you want this. What you really want, and this is just kind of a bummer of the moment. This is a result, much like Greymane, why we're all doing Gilneas cocktail builds. Netherwind supplies you with increased range. And when it hits a hero, it refunds 80 of that mana. That is going to be way more impactful because now you're stunning. Where's the stuns so far? Where's the impactful stuns so far? They're too expensive. 90 mana. You can't contribute a stun every fight. That's insane. Now you can with Netherwind. The other part of Netherwind, though, and the really fancy part about it, is that it is entirely increased in speed. So let's say you got to go from here to here, and this is the Netherwind cast. Well, now you have a Netherwind that goes 30% further and still has the exact same cast time. So in fact, you're casting Netherwind faster. And that means the projectile is going faster, and you're more likely to hit a target, and they can't dodge it. That's just one of those weird interactions here, and it's a nice bonus, but really, we're just not seeing any Netherwinds, and those are hugely impactful. Those are going to be stuns that allow everybody to know who you want to target. You put a flame strike, a small, there's the genius of it. There's your real moment to what you need to go into try mode and practice. Figure out how to get a flame strike out, throw a gravity lapse under it, make sure they're in the flame strike, and then make it a small flame strike. Just a tiny one and a gravity lapse. That just did as much damage as your Verdant Spheres, and now you have 2 living bombs instead of 1. Like, that's how you get just insane damage, and you're going to have a really heavy impact on the game around you. From there, since we're talking about this, just to get it out, you'd still do Burn Flesh, because Burn Flesh is amazing, right? You know, we're making a choice here at level 1. Mana Addict is basically saying, I want a shield. Mana helps a lot. This is very helpful. So you're going to do great on mana. You won't really need any other mana talents, particularly when you take Netherwind with it. But the main thing you're saying with Mana Addict is, I am going to, in the late game, be ganked, dove, something's going to happen to me. When I die on Kael'thas at level 10, no big deal at all in the world. You're going to throw out your Flame Strike, 7-second cooldown. You're probably going to panic cast a Gravity Lapse, throw a Living Bomb on anything you can, and perhaps cast a Phoenix on your way out. That's a 60-second cooldown and 15 seconds and all sorts of other things piling up. Your death for 30, 40 seconds with a 60-second cooldown heroic going in the background, fine. Perfect. Great. You did probably as much damage as you would have. Maybe missed a couple flame strikes, right? But really, in all honesty, on your way out, you probably did the majority of damage that you were going to do during that team fight anyway, as a burst mage. So going down there didn't really matter. But when that death timer gets to 1.5 minutes, Convection's not going to save you. Mana Addict is going to. It's going to give you a shield equal to your mana that's going to save your life. Meaning you don't die. Meaning that when you live for 60 seconds, you cast another Phoenix. And that's how you get top damage on Kael'thas. When you're dead for 90 seconds, you hit the cooldown of your Phoenix and 30 seconds. And how many flame strikes in there? A lot. 10. Probably, you could have done. Along with the living bombs and stuns and everything else that is fun like that. So, that's why we Mana Addict on big maps. Here, Warhead Junction, kind of a guess. I think you're farming okay, but I'm just not seeing any creativity in your play. So, Phoenix after that, so we do Burnt Flesh because it's amazing hitting 2 heroes. You're going to hit 2 heroes, why not? Giant Killers, those are great. Double tanks happen all the time. Great talent. Maybe you do Sun King's Fury if there's no chance of this ever happening because it's single tank and 4 backline. That's rarely going to happen. Phoenix, here, it's going to be really your choice in Bronze, but I'd like to get you thinking about each time Living Bomb deals periodic damage. That's it, periodic damage on a building, on an Immortal, on a Punisher, on a boss, whatever. Heroes, your cooldowns are reduced by 1 second. Well, your cooldowns are being reduced by 1 second. Your Netherwind is giving you mana back. You can see how that would get really powerful. Slow, it's nice. Explosion Radius, that's pretty nice if you took Sun King's Fury earlier. But I want to get you focused on this sort of play style. Fury of the Sun, well, so good. Zone areas, great. And then from here, you'll probably do, I don't know, maybe in Bronze you could do some Master of Flames. And Flamethrower is always good too. But Flamethrower is tough because you're going to increase your range by this huge amount. And actually, with your current playstyle, I bet Flamethrower just takes you out of the fight too much. So you might want to go with something a little different there. But nothing wrong with it. It's just tough to get used to your new range because you're only in that range for some amount of time. And it's at the very late of the game, so the least amount of experience you've had. Alright, so there's a Kael'thas build for you guys out there. If you're looking for one, something a little more impactful. Keeping you using all your spells. Use Verdant Spheres creatively. Apart, all your spells do damage. Together, you can make all sorts of neat combinations. The engagement isn't as religious as it used to be in Kael'thas' older forms. Yeah. So here you run out of mana, right? And the Verdant Spheres isn't helping you, your mana tap. So I'd say try out. Extreme case here, too. That was a very, very long fight. But definitely try out that Mana Addict. See about that Netherwind. So, bottom. Could you be bummed about this? Sure. Would I say be bummed about this? Hell no. Maybe. Diablo didn't push as hard as perhaps he could have in the top. But, you know, people get nervous. one of those situations where really watching that mini-map gives you some knowledge. Here comes Sylvanas, Leroy Jenkins, to make a bit of an impact in the top. Diablo is nervous. Brightwing stealing a cam, but Bribe's a little late after getting out some auto attacks, perhaps. Let's get focused back on our Kael'thas. We might see only things we don't want to see out in the wild. Glad you can make the live stream, Rackham. Don't insult yourself, you're doing great. So proceed to the top. Cool. Minor thing. And this isn't something that Rackham's going to be thinking about for a long time. You activated your Verdant Spheres before seeing what the battlefield was looking like. You won't know. Do you want an empowered Flame Strike when you get there? Do you want to cast a Gravity Lapse first and then put out the Flame Strike? Maybe. Super duper minor thing, but continue to think about it into the future. Take the Verdant Spheres to the last second before you get there. That's when you're really trying to... If you want to be Kael'thas main #1 in the world, last second Verdant Spheres. What are you doing back here? What are you doing back here? All the way back there? What's the range on your Flame Strike? It might not work because it's an old replay here. No, we're not going to get to see his ranges. But all the same. Who was in front? The tank. Who was under attack? The tank. Sylvanas has shorter range than Kael'thas, so she was under attack. Cool. Brightwing was behind that on cooldown. I didn't see any polymorphs recently. So everything going on there, maybe if Bronze 3 Medivh here had done a portal forward and Murid and Invala all go through at the same time, but that's simply not going to happen. You were in no danger in that little scenario. But you were so far back, you couldn't possibly put out auto attack. Auto attack that. No, you were almost in range, right? Like, this is all DPS. That's free DPS. It's not hurting nobody. You grabbed up Sun King's Fury. Cool. All right. Understandable. In Bronze, you're used to punishing people who spread around your bomb. Cool, fine. But every time you hit somebody with a Flame Strike, you could be doing bonus damage. Hit your skill shots. Good advice, right? Around here, gosh, there's really nothing to make your job easier. So one thing, if you're missing a lot of your skill shots, you're gonna run out of mana. How much was that? So that just cost you your Verdant Spheres, 6-second cooldown, 7-second cooldown, 70 mana for a hit on Lucio who passively heals. And you did about half terrain there too. So you can instantly see how low value that spell was. Didn't have a high impact. Hit a Lucio who's healing for free, and it heals duration. So his heal over time maybe won't equal your Flame Strike, but there's nothing that's going to happen here. So what do you go on to do now? So where did that 70 mana go? The cooldowns are fine. We bounce right back, but you use a well. So now is this well going to punish you in the next minute and a half? Are we going to be in a situation where we'd want a well? That's a pretty aggressive push in the middle there. But we got 3. So with your arrival here, we have a nice little mini-comp. Alright, we got 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we see everybody out in front of us. Cool. On approach, I would have liked to see you down here. Just to make sure this wasn't going to be an engage point. I was pretty scared for you. Currently, a lot is going into... Who the heck is Sparkle in the air? Oh, it's Lucio. He looks like he's about to go on a magical rainbow adventure. Alright, so Lucio's in the air. Fine. Looks like Diablo's under attack. Excellent. All's right in the world, though it is a bit of a scary engage. Dancing. But the tanks are under attack. The Bruiser's under attack right now. Notice how they didn't care at all about you until they finished that Zool. Your living bomb's on cooldown. That would have been a good part. In fact, because we'll likely crash if we rewind here in an old replay, what if you had put out the living bombs first, and then when they all collapsed onto Zool, you used the Flame Strike then? We're thinking outside of time here a bit now, because that's not something you didn't know they were all going to collapse on Zool. I didn't know they were going to group up that. Well, now you do. From this experience right here, you know that the 2 melees, with the wizard standing right nearby Medivh, and Lucio often running amongst everything, is gonna get really stuck on each other. So I'm starting to really dig your Sun King's Fury pickup. But we need to use it at the right time. So we can wait for these times now. Let's wait for that collapse and really use it at the moment. You can see here that he did get his Hand of Ragnar, so we need to be careful. But you've been so far back, that's not even going to concern you. Skullcracker is going to cause some issues, but you didn't go Pyroblast. So there's really nothing to be interrupted there, but it can cause some issues if you were trying to do a stutter step or get out auto attacks. Hungering Arrow, reset, some more burst damage from Vala. Anything else, Arcane Explosion's not really going to matter for your position. Zool, okay. Soul Shield, alright. So Diablo has increased his amount of protection from spells. Phase Shield, that's not going to... Okay, so nothing really important. Poison Nova... Instantly, I dislike Poison Nova because it's going into Lucio. Any sort of AoE damage over time is really weak into AoE over time healers. It counters itself, in a sense. Of course, if you're winning, if you're 2 levels up, the poison hits hard, the healers can't do it. You know, it's an ebb and flow sort of thing. But you're not going to have the decisiveness, the assertiveness that you might on battlefield control with Poison Nova like you do with Bone Prison. However, you notice you're hugely ahead and the enemy team has no good way to heal that off. Poison Nova is great. For instance, versus Uther, who has a large single target heal, a very tiny AoE heal. That gives armor for a short duration. Well, Poison Nova lasts for a full 10 seconds, so it's a pretty good pick into just plain Uther. You add another support to that, you need to change your thought process there again. Our dude picked up Phoenix here. Great pick. It's the easiest pick. I like it. Keep doing it. Get those high numbers. People want to see things with low health so they can feel confident about going in, particularly in bronze. All right, so you've got no mana again. You have gone off by yourself with no mana. You have called for help, but you have no mana. Nice gravity lapse. Solid. Cool. So nothing was going to happen there in the first place. You basically counted on the enemy team just not showing up. Could be a bronze thing, you know, they could just not show up. But ultimately, your impact there was too low. Should have been with Diablo. What did Diablo accomplish? Well, he got the middle one, right? So you weren't needed there, but the sure fact of there being a mini-comp available to you meant you were going to have a much bigger impact with what you went and did instead. That's not going to kill Zool. It's a little funny, though, chasing him down there. All right, it is breaking out in the middle. Here would be an instance where I wouldn't mind you just going ahead and popping your Verdant Sphere and getting ready for that Flame Strike. That's just going to be thrown to try to get Diablo out. He had souls, so he'll be back. And Lucio's pretty low. Could be tempting. Don't go for it, Sylvanas. Good camp going in the top, so putting pressure into the bottom would be correct here. Kind of keep their eyes off that camp, perhaps. No... Well, actually, this is just Dreadful Wake. Okay, so no Mercenary Queen or anything like that. Medivh, cool. You got a Bright-Winged Friend. While the armor's up, excellent. Great thing about, particularly just post-13, and certainly 16, if you do that Flame Strike talent, that you're just gonna burn camps, and bruiser camps, no matter what you want.
Enemy fort destroyed.
Oh. Well, it did hit Muradin. Oh my, okay. Cool. Okay, Sylvanas Vala's on the top. That's good for us. Is it good for us? Actually, is it good for us? Let's check. Yes, okay, she has top damage on the enemy side. Wow, we have really good damage. Nice. Yeah, everything's about where it should be. Yep, about where it should be with Medivh spec. Cool. Everything's looking good so far. Nice little silence there. Okay, poke damage. But you have a Bright Wing, so there's no need to be scared of this sort of thing. Damage goes on to the Bruiser, so stay engaged. Auto attack. Those are your big moments to get a lot of extra DPS. When something that's under attack that isn't you. Almost dodged by the Bright Wing there. Not level 13 yet, Diablo, so he doesn't get any bonus. Where are you off to? You taking fight? Rag? Okay. This should work out, actually. You got a living bomb, right? Oh. Cool, nice. Now you're out of mana. Probably because you cast Gravity Lapse. And you hit a hero. But it's an expensive spell. So you had half mana, so what drug you... Was that a bad fight in your opinion? It looks like. I think you just missed it. I think you straight up just thought that things were over, went to the tower, turned around and went, wait, what? That's still going? Oh, no. And then came back. So your impact when you returned was decent. Surprising you weren't able to living bomb the lower characters. Okay, so there you were reading your talent, picking it out. Those are all speed things that could be worked on, but they're not as important as execution. Okay, we have a nice little choke. Alright. Alright, 11 minutes, 39 seconds. Let's chance it. Let's chance it to see this fight again. The Medivh without Master's Touch? Well, we are watching Bronze here, so that's going to happen. That will happen. Cool. We successfully rewound. Alright, let's watch these cooldowns. So here, he's selecting his talent. He has selected. He got himself slows. Okay.
Collection.
Walks in. Finds the fight. Sees somebody there. Murden engages. Brightwing disengages. The Phoenix finally finds value, but oh my goodness, we've already used everything. Back again. Where did everything else go? And did it go on to Murden? In which case, bad. Very bad. Tanks don't want to absorb burst. Well, tanks do want to absorb burst. That's why it's bad. Per point of mana, putting... Oh my goodness, it broke. Check it out. We've become... Why only there? I don't know. This broke, apparently. Anyway. Tanks have big health pools. They often have armor and things. Putting things that cost things into them is bad. Don't nuke them with objectives. But certainly don't use your mana to damage them. Those are auto attacks. You can auto attack a tank when it's in your face and try to fire over the top of something. Alright, so you walk in. So Phoenix goes on to nothing. Okay, there's the Gravity Lapse, which sort of gets mixed up in the... Oh, and the terrain there, that's where I missed it. Okay, cool. Man, can you imagine? Can you imagine if you had the Flame Strike right now? But how do you know that? How would you know that in Bronze here? Well, you broke the main rule of just not hitting the tank with expensive spells. Things that cost any sort of mana. Don't belong on tanks unless you're killing them. You're currently even level, so I can't assume that you thought this guy was going to die. Simple as that. Yeah, you put everything into a tank, now you're on cooldown, now the main fight advances, the squishies are available, and you have no mana, no cooldowns at all to participate. You walk back in, get a... That could actually do quite a bit of work in Bronze. Sadly, he's just barely out of range there. So huge moment, huge 30 seconds. Minute. Oh, well, you got a Lucio in the toes, but they still get the nuke off. So huge minute and a half there where you were able to make a large impact. You had the mana for it. Ended up being distracted by a tower in the area. They miscast a nuke, so it's fine, I guess. we make a little bit of recovery there. Zul actually pushes the top, which is what makes us bounce back here. This is not that big of a detriment to the team. But yeah, we had a big performance check there. An opportunity to really kick some butt. Sylvanas could do these on her own. Is there anywhere you could be? Maybe running to Diablo to help Zul and Brightwing escape. Yeah, and then they're going to take that camp. So, yeah, you haven't really missed anything. But acknowledge if a character can do something all by themselves. You ain't 16 yet, so you can't do that on yourself. They are... I've got to look at this. Again, this is when you have no ranged deeps. You got a support, you got your bruiser, in this case Zul, you got the tank, and without any damage, they just can't finish it. Oh, didn't hit anybody. Oh, Vala from behind. Oh, all right. You look like you're about to make a mistake. You look like you're about to fire a skill shot on a moving target, no less. A mounted target. So everything is stacked against you to hit this shot. I can see it. You're gonna flame strike. He's got his arms down. Here comes the flame strike. All right, so you would need a living bomb first to get them off the mount to make sure that they're moving slower. You also took a talent where you make people move slower when the explosion goes off. So if you want to hit her with a gravity lapse, living bomb, explosion, then gravity lapse, so you are aiming at her not only when she's not mounted and going faster, that is now 30% faster, but you will now make her go 20% slower than her walking speed. Then aim the super expensive, non-refundable gravity lapse. And then follow with another living bomb because you were awesome and used your Verdant Spheres for the first living bomb. Gravity lapse when she slowed, second living bomb, and ideally somewhere in there was a flame strike under her feet. That's what we picture. Let's see it in action. We do just she decides actually to stand and fight for a little bit. Her mistake. Medivh makes a pretty deep engage. Our Phoenix doesn't go on to do a lot. Wow, that's a good flame strike there. Too bad we don't have the level 7 talent, but still. Okay, look how long you're stuck dancing around. Okay, another flame strike, but don't put it on the tank. Went on the support, but that's okay. Tank goes down. Alright. 3 dead. Awesome. Oh, it's gonna be hard though for poor Brightwing. She can't stop off these people. They're trying to walk in, but Brightwing's heals are just so tiny. That Edgecroft, the Necromancer, is forced back with Leroy Jenkins. Yeah, they can't do it. This is the Brightwing's draft fault. I mean, maybe what is the poke? There's not enough poke. That thing's too high. Yeah. That's a Brightwing for you. So you're gonna go back. 2 dead. Nope, don't go back. No need to go back. You could have taken it easy. Maybe ran for one of these down here. Yeah, they don't have any global, really. So now you're just getting down there with a bit more mana than you had, but regeneration would help you out along the way. Oh no, Sylvanas! Oh no, Sylvanas! Oh, be a chip! Wait, no. Oh, they got each other. Okay, I thought Brightwing was gonna miss it. Oh, okay. Nice. Cool. Good level 17 or 16 pick. Oh. Oh. Oh, because he's in stasis, the camera got confused. Alright. Oh no, what's happening up here? It's a bruiser. So it's a bruiser tank with a... Yeah, that's Muradin. Muradin with Burning Rage and Heavy Impact, so not an insane amount of sustain, but yeah, get away from that. Oh no. You got a building. Watch, drop your nuke. Let's go back to watching Rackham. Rackham's doing, like, there's mechanical things at play, but the strategy of Rackham is doing just fine. He's doing great. Goes to clear a lane. Sylvanas is in some amount of trouble, but it appears Birdman's chasing him in the air form. Looks like he got the nuke. Nice little push in the bottom. Oh, no, we have a nuke too. 2 cooldowns into the tank by themselves. Nothing bad happens in the meantime. Phoenix, of course, no value there. Wait for those. So one of the easy... Oh, here's Bala's missing. The easiest way to really tell if a team is committed is probably if there's an enemy Vala and she uses her Vault Reset. You're really going to know that this is the fight and it's going down right now. That's a lot of burst damage. Rag has almost no initiation. Has to use his Blast Wave. And that's... What, Ragnaros ally movement speed? Yeah, 25%, so that's not a lot either. So with Rag here, yeah, you just wait for the melees to be in melee range, to know that they're invested in fighting for a long time, and that allows you to put out your Phoenix. In another situation, like I said, if Vala was in the area, 1 or 2 arrows with her build, and she's going to start getting some mad stacks, and she's going to want to stay invested. Of course, an aggressive vault really says that she's going to stay in the area for an extended period of time. But look for those engagements. Is a tank actually under attack? Is something being dove? If it's being dove, how long are they likely to stay? What's going to keep them in that area at the end? Something has to be happening to make Phoenix be used and know that there's going to be some sort of impact there. It looks like, too, that you're also chasing them, so I might even be a little sad that you're going to be on cooldown if you reach that keep. Alright, here you've made 2 people together. Oh, but it's a great stack. No, 2? Okay, still a, wow, great CC stack by the team there. That could have been actually disastrous with that level 7 Talon of Ragnarok. Oh, we got a boss! Rag dead, 40 seconds, ball in the bottom. That looks pretty good. Sylvanas kind of soaking out the lane there. I want to see you in the next 10 seconds go this way. Ideally, Diablo goes that way, and Zul's, you know, like over here, running back and forth. And Sylvanas can go probably somewhere in here because she has that teleport wave. But I want to see you over here. I don't know if something's coming. They got a Medivh after all. A good habit to get into. Those can be avoided with a little bit of stutter stepping or just walking during your cooldown time. Yeah, because now that's permanent. Oh my god, what timing. Now that's permanent damage that Brightwing can't do a thing about. And does it cause your death here? Well, you're kind of, yeah, looking at it, aren't you? The Banelings killed you because Brightwing couldn't do a thing about it. This is why I'm a little down on Brightwing right now, by the way. So I may be a little hard on her. But it's very difficult if the whole team isn't able to kind of take care of themselves. Nice move, Diablo. Alright, so boss does go on to do things. We got wall. Okay, well, no wall in the bottom, but I don't think they're going to get down there in time. So we get a keep with catapults. So they rush to defense? Nope, okay. He doesn't even manage to save it.
Warheads inbound.
Yeah, they all go defend. So that's the best case scenario. No bottom boss or nothing like that. You guys dead for 5 seconds longer yourself. You've got Fury of the Sunwell, so let's probably go grab the Bruiser camp in the top. Bottom, just because that boss is likely to get pretty busy.
For collection at your convenience.
There's not a lot to do. Yeah, even grabbing this camp is fine. I just don't want to see you do this. Nice. Well done. Oh, what happened there? Free living bomb. Free living bomb. Second living bomb. Flame strike the middle. That's fine. Well, no, you got an orb, so you're good. Might be something with analyzing, though. Does it clear like that, knock you down the mana, which eventually causes you to be out of mana. So we're guarding the boss. They're 20 and we're not. We got double wave from Rag, worth noting. Bossa Nova reduces the cooldown sub area to 30 seconds, but the shield now decays. Guardian of Tree's Fall, interesting, but yeah, not a bad pickup in this scenario with the way the Medivh's been played. Rancor, attack speed. Is this an auto attack heals build? Yeah. Okay, so she can solo a boss if she really wants to with that build. And no choice out of Muradin yet, but that'll be an important one. Okay, so Avatar for reasons, but he has been receiving a lot of CC. So not a horrible pick for him. Still seems odd next to armor. Oh, you have isolated yourself. Your Phoenix does not cover your feet. So what is stopping Muradin from continuing this engagement? You've dragged 2 squishies back now in your panic to run from the tank. You're trying to loop back around. Okay. So Muradin eventually disengages. The poison goes flying. Doesn't hit a lot of people. That's always a huge problem. Okay, decent little zone there. That's a disengage. Brightwing can't do a thing about this. Alright, so many times beating a Lunara, a Malthael, anyone like that comes down to, did you dodge the opening shot? How do you beat KT sometimes? Well, did you get hit by the flame strike at the start of the fight? That sucks. What can you do about it? Well, don't get hit. That's the thing with Brightwing. That's the whole, and now we're all bruised, and there's nothing Brightwing can do about it to get us topped up. Oh, Zool taking all that damage too. I mean, there's nothing Brightwing can do about that. The best thing we can do is start a really, really, really safe poke engagement, possibly. And, oh, Diablo. And maybe distract them from the top for long enough that we would cause some of them to back there. Oh, a good hit from Medivh, no less. Brightwing, do you have a teleport? Doesn't look like it. Okay, that leaves solo Diablo with friends. He's got to go. So bottom keep falls, but this is pretty good. They didn't take the boss at least. You slacker. Focus up. Catapult. There could have been 3. Now there's 2. Catapults need to work on their positioning. Ragnar's heads back. Okay. So they stop. They still have the core comp, the tank, a sustain, and a support. You can imagine if we replace Vala with Kael'thas, that would be only for tiny little fights. We would only be able to snag the Brightwing and kill her and then run away. As long as you have sustain, you can get a lot done, and that's why sustain has become the big part of the meta that it is. You don't double support a Kael'thas because you can't make him do more damage the more you heal him. To an extent. So Zool can D this forever. There's a lot of opportunity to make a comeback here, particularly with the top open like that. You're going to grab Muradin, and it is isolated, actually. It's up to, well, Diablo didn't go Devastate Charge. But that silence is actually going to wreck. Vala was actually pretty scared through that whole thing. Oh, they were taking a camp at the same time, or trying to start one anyway. Sylvanas has that. You're part of the team. You're actually still probably their highest damage. Yeah, be a part of it. Wherever Diablo goes, you're right behind him. He doesn't have damage without you. He did not go Devastate Charge. So that's a huge deal and a huge blow to his own damage. Devastate Charge here gives him that giant killer. And with this Muradin lasting forever, that would be a really helpful tool instead of Fire Devil. But he's probably hitting enough targets to make Fire Devil decent. It just means that you have to be with him. Gotta clear those first, sure. Something going on up here, okay. Let's find our KT again.
Warhead collected. Your loot is now armed.
Oh, this is turning into some half-baked chaos here. The Banelings are coming out. Don't get touched by those. Those are Brightwing's problem. Okay, cool. Sweet. Oh, I want to see a charge into Vala. Okay, that ruined it, but that's fine. Nice little, yes, gravity lapse, good. Well done. I'm cheering for you, man. Cool. A delete. Okay. That is 2 catapults onto the middle, but that doesn't matter because 2 catapults. No, no. Don't go back for 2 catapults. You're currently stopping the wave. You have to stop 3 catapults. 2 are fine. They'll take care of themselves. It may hurt a little bit, but you're going to be okay. You got auto attacks. So don't. Well, you cast a lot of spells there, but don't. I know that this is scary. Don't anybody back for that. It's going to be okay. You just need the minion wave. Go for a win. Ooh, it's going to land on Medivh. No, I don't think anyone actually noticed, so wait. No, win. Yes, win. 24 seconds. You have a nuke. No. That's fine. Oh, no. That was a kind of cute move, actually. No. No, he can't do it. He doesn't have time. It's too low damage. Ah. Oh, no. Oh, wow. Oh my god, this game goes on. Well, that's gonna be... that's gonna be a little dangerous sitting there. Yeah, I mean, basically Zool can't leave the base now. With Rag down? Still a lot of meat to go through. Oh, that's not gonna do anything. But I see what you were going for, right? You wanted to say, hey, don't come through this hole. Take a longer hole. Maybe we can kill you in that time. Really? It is Lucio after all. Someone stop him, Diablo. Oh my god. Yeah, the Muradin. Muradin's coming in now. Avatar is actually going to reduce all those CCs on him. He's going. Okay. Okay, so you got 40 seconds. Zool stays in base and everybody else goes. So what are you doing? Go with the Diablo. Go. You got the nuke? You got the nuke. Go. Zool, Sylvanas, they're the defenders. No. Go for it. What are you doing? You got special. Oh, no. No, you thought you were the defense. Oh, no. Zool would be better at that than you. Yeah, and he's doing it already. Oh, no. So we got in deadlock with a nuke on the team. Yeah. So even if we could say that you didn't think that Zool was better at defending the base than you, you still had the nuke on you. And now you're going back. But you want them to go. Well, what's that gonna... They need you! You're the Grandmaster. You're the hero of your own story, after all. Phoenix, that. Yeah. Wherever the Ragnaros loads up into, that's where he's going to be at the end of it. So if you could have caught him with a Flame Strike there, any of your combo, that would have been neat too. Okay, here comes Medivh. I think both sides broke.
Alert. Your core is under attack.
Apparently, Vala killed Medivh in the top, but it's an old replay. It can be a little broken.
All
okay.
Have been claimed.
Yeah? So you got the nuke. I'm sorry, dude, but that's what it comes down to. You got... What? Now here he comes with a nuke. I guess Diablo used discharge during that. That's not gonna end the game, though. No, it doesn't. Okay. Yes, no, you're the one with the nuke. Go! It's you! With the Diablo, with the Brightwing, and probably leave Sylvanas for base. She can do this. You've got the nuke. You go get it done. Catapult in the top. Here comes Zool 2. You can leave now. That'll be fine. It's got, what, 15% health on it? What's going on there? What's up there? How'd that get in? Free living bomb grab. Okay, it's already over. Okay. Okay. Man, what a wacky game, dude. I hope I wasn't too hard on you there. Things become a lot easier when you start thinking about who's best at what, and knowing which hero is best at what isn't an easy thing to deduce. So, and your damage looks great. That's raw damage. This is just AoE damage, so it's not efficient damage. Vala, much lower damage, can be considered efficient. I wasn't really watching how much she was attacking a tank versus other squishies. I think she was mostly attacking tanks, though, and Zool and stuff, just because this was bronze. Lots of things came down to that Brightwing, because you couldn't get topped off after winning something and move in. How little damage she did, too. She could have been Morales. That could have empowered your team to get done, but that's a different thought. That's just why I don't like Brightwing. So in the end, gosh, there's so much. So you really, really need to increase your impact, and I think the spec we talked about earlier would be a great bit of training wheels for you to start thinking about that sort of thing. So really play with this, work on your orbs, enjoy the bonus mana you get from those, activate that shield every 45 seconds, find an excuse. If a shield absorbs some damage, it did its job. That's damage that didn't lower your health. What if in those engagements where Brightwing couldn't take care of you, you could absorb the opening part Muradin was in your face and then come out the other side with full health? That could be really interesting. Mana, keep it high, getting orbs, getting Nether Winds, but mainly using Flame Strikes for damage and rather than stacks. Because the stacks don't matter in the late game, because the Flame Strike's already doing a lot of damage there. The stacks are when you say, before 16, before 13, I'd say even before 10, I can finish this and have a greater impact on my game. Otherwise, you're going late game, and you want Mana Addict in a lot of cases. So try out this build, look for 2 targets standing together, find that excuse to put out Flame Strikes, Pyromaniac for more Flame Strikes, Fury the Senwell starts zoning with it, Flamethrower is a cute talent too. When the enemy team pushed bot and took 2 keeps, should they not core there? They ended up backing. Everyone was rezzing. I think they could have, but they were probably having a similar problem as the Brightwing. The Lucio wasn't able to top them off. He has an easier time absorbing big burst damage like what KT's doing, thanks to the sound barrier. But the other team in that scenario where they had the Lucio, Muradin, Vala, I don't think Vala was, first of all, brave enough to have the body language to make that happen. But also, much like the Brightwing we talked about, they were suffering from a similar problem with their Lucio. Rackham says, I think I try Hearthing too much in general. I've tried to fix that lately. Cool, perfect, yes. Get orbs, hang out. If there's no real danger to your person, stick it out. It's tougher when mana's involved, of course, because if you're a sustain attacker, like my Zul'jin, half health, perfect. Maybe something cool happened and I can dingo, right? And I can also heal myself there. So, based on your character, it's a lot easier to make the choice to hang out for an extended period, but you can always go light on mana for a bit. You didn't trust them to D and it cost you the game. Yeah, what do you do? So the mental gymnastics you pull there for yourself would be to say that while this game, everyone's done their job to the best of their abilities, it seems like Zul understands his. I could tell Sylvanas and Zul to guard the base. Why? It's complicated at that point, and there's no reason the game had to come to that, because if you had performed stronger mechanically and during mana management, the fights would have been easier and you never would have reached that point in the first place. That, of course, is to completely ignore anything the Diablo did wrong picking bad fights. I mean, I'm saying here, the Diablo, you're not with him. You know, oh no, it's your problem, but it's the Diablo's problem for making a bad engage too, you know? So it's not all on you, of course. But if you're the performer, you're the star performer, you roll in here with your Grandmaster skills, you could have had a lot bigger impact mechanically and never gotten stuck in that situation in the first place. And when you lose a game like this and you say, I have to trust Zul in order to exit my base and hopefully try to win the game, you're saying at that point, let's do the one thing that can win, like going for boss and it's a throw pit and what's 100% going to happen, but you're 3 levels down, let's just try, you know? Oh, really? I removed the chat. There was a lot of trollish salt flying around. How did you remove the chat from this game before you sent it over? Is that a feature? If so, that changes a lot, actually, and I'm sorry we missed it, but it did allow us to actually focus on your play, Rackham, which I applaud you for. And that means that you actually probably got a lot better advice, and instead we'd all be sitting around complaining about your teammates, so well done on you. Cool, yeah, try out the spec. So biggest letting in the endgame, count on your team to do their freaking job. So yeah, Zul proved himself to be a bit of a fool, but Sylvanas always took camps by herself just fine. She lost to Medivh, but that's probably a lack of knowledge thing. You know, it's not pretty, but yeah. Yeah, I think being a star performer, of course, helps you avoid those situations in the first place. But if they're best for the job, Hot Salt can strip it. I didn't know that. That's sweet. And like I said, I think better for the learning process. Things getting Stukov into my rotation. Before Heroes, I was a no MOBA kind of guy because of legendary toxicity. So I had a long way to go, and the content you and Garrett have provided have pulled and made a big difference. More than anything, your demeanor and balance approach to replay analysis has kept me coming back to work on my own game. Well, it's fantastic. 2 seasons ago, I played my first Hero League placement and landed in Bronze 5, and this season, I hit Gold 3, and never felt more proud of the work I put in to get there. Awesome. He notes that he doesn't stutter step, still. Well, at least. I mostly support because my skill shots miss a lot, but less than they used to. When I saw the master level Stukov max, I wanted to reach out and say it meant a great deal to me seeing really high level support play, and analyzed it and learned a ton. No, I don't use that build in this replay. I didn't think about the ideas, and I do want to be more aggressive on support in the future. I am, by most standards, an older gamer, almost 39 now, so I don't have the Twitch skills. I did, but your content and the community of Good Luck Have Fun has kept me in HOTS, kept me here for a long time. Hopefully long enough to teach my own kids how to be good gamers for the communities out there. Cool. So he's not interested necessarily in improving his stutter stepping. He's aware that it's an issue. With Stukov's long auto attack cooldowns, I don't think we'll really see any opportunities for that unless he's trying to make a body block or anything like that happen. So, let's give it the same treatment. Let's give everybody a chance to pick their level 1 talents in case that really makes a big deal. Uh-oh. Looks like we may have a Fury variant on our hands here. We got a Butcher pick. Gilneas Cocktail, sure. Everything else looks pretty darn standard. Interesting. Evil pick. Orbs for the Anubarak. Let's check out Li Ming. Shouldn't really affect Stukov.
3, 2,
Okay.
1.
Uther's all picked up. Come on, Li Ming. You can do it. Show us what you got. Taking a little break to put out Poke for Days. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to be out there. It's a little dangerous, perhaps. We have to remember, too, that we have now graduated from our diamond, or our bronze games to a gold game now. So things are going to be a little different. Things might be moving a little faster, perhaps. So, all right, we got a power hungry out of Li Ming. If Stukov, for any reason, is stuck 1v1 versus Li Ming, very, very good idea to zone her out of her orbs. Basically to say, in fact, let's go ahead and use this top lane as an example. As these two lanes come together, it would be your job, perhaps, if you would like for it to be, to simply kind of walk out in front and really sort of patrol this area back and forth. And if Li Ming's trying to throw orbs up there in the top, just keep on zoning her out and keep her from collecting the orb as it dies on your side. Just zone her out. That's a different way to say zone out, in case you're not familiar with that term. I'm sure you are at this point. Use your body to make sure that her body cannot reach the orb. And anytime she starts to go for the orb, you smack her, hit her with things, silence her, stop her from collecting that orb so she doesn't get bonus mana and spell power. Besides that, no real mega concerns on your end. You may be able to catch where Butcher's going to be at the end of his dive and connecting a nice little lurking arm in that area to stop him from putting out his heal would be a really good idea. That's probably the most obvious thing. What's this here? Diva's mech gains 2% movement speed for 1.25 seconds every time it takes damage up to 30%. Neat. Don't ever see that picked. Nubrak's going to get some health. Uther's going to do his Uther thing. And Butcher's looking to maybe do some bonus damage and help with Mercenaries. Seems like a pretty bad pick, given new Butcher. And this is new Butcher from after the patch. Super fat guy down. Duel in the Greymane. Here in the middle, we could send Sonya or Arthas top. What's the damage? Oh, a Varian? Oh, yeah. So in this case, what we actually wanted to do, just for Team League and for fun thoughts, if you're curious, it would be a Arthas solo and a Sonya solo with a Varian and yourself in the middle with the Greymane. Same sort of idea from our previous game. You gotta have the core comp. And here you're probably going to be left with, what, maybe 2 melee and yourself? That's not going to connect much pressure onto Kroll here on the enemy side. Nice. Not a great movie, but I enjoy seeing reference to it. So basically, we have a big pile of nothing in the middle with Greymane out. So not a lot is going to happen here. They're going to do damage, but they'll just take poke from the Li Ming the longer this goes. Someone's got to go to the top. It should be versus Butcher. Sonya, I guess. Now nobody wants to go top, so that's pretty dirty. So hopefully you won't feel compelled to go up there. But however, since you are just, healing up 3 melee, 2 of which have a self-regeneration, there's really no point in sticking around right now. Yeah, so a lot of power to Greymane, and Greymane would be the first heal in most cases. If Varian sort of gets his spec in line, he may be an opportunity for damage. But it looks like he's probably favoring a Fury build, in which case it's going to be pretty tough into that many stuns. Diva as well. There's a lot that can go wrong there. Here's something I see happen all the time. And while this situation doesn't necessarily call for it, I would like to take this opportunity to talk about it a little bit. Let's see. Looks like my doodle broke. There we go. Okay. So I see this happen a lot with Genjis. There is an Uther chasing you, and maybe he's hit some sort of speed boost. And so he's going to close on you no matter what, and you're running away from him. Let that stun connect. This stun right here, our Stukov hero should be saying, perfect. IDEO should just be going, oh, it's so good. What a great stun. Thank you, Uther. Thank you for using your stun in a non-stacked moment, having nothing to do with the Butcher. So, in that way, if our character here had to run from here all the way down this way, I don't know, for some reason he can't use this as an escape. Let this connect happen here, and then keep running. Don't kite the Uther so long that he eventually catches up when the Butcher hits. See what I'm saying? This is a really important moment, and I see this a lot. Let the bad Uther make the connect at a bad time for him. Now you can't be stun stacked, I should say, when the Butcher comes in. So this is a great moment, and now you'd be thinking about, of course, if you're going to take, maximum amount of impact from this, you're now thinking about, cool, that was an 8-second cooldown. I now have an 8-second window that I can get something cool done. Anytime anybody wants to use a spell on you, particularly a point-click spell, a Bone Prison, let it happen at the time that's right for you. Don't run away because it's the right thing to do. Oh, in fact, we do record here with the camera. IDEO. Yeah? I'm just gonna mess that up. I feel bad the whole time. Okay, let's get into this. Let's get zoomed out. Let's go to everybody view. Let's get a big old view of our pit. Okay, Varian's running a little late. He's on his way. We don't know about those two guys. So really, we're at a pretty big mystery on the enemy side here. Clearing the lane, that does give pressure. It's going to give them more control than when these guys push back into here. Sonya's in front, followed by Arthas. That's fine. There's all sorts of things in this pit here to spin on, so nothing wrong with Sonya leading the way. Greymane's a little far back. Here comes Varian through here. So we got 3-3-3. So we identify this Bruiser in a sense. It is an assassin, but of course, and until the thing about mini comps too, throwing this out there, the tank always changes, and the support might even change places. If ETC and Val are hanging out, and ETC has finished his prog rock quest, he can be both the tank and the support, or counts as both the tank and support. Let's say ETC, Vala, and Uther are hanging out. ETC dies. Uther becomes the tank and the support. So in this case up here, we have support Uther, Burst Li Ming, Bruiser, Butcher, until other people show up on the scene. That's a lot of damage. It's a very scary amount of damage, but it's very susceptible to AoEs, because it means that Uther would have to do the healing. Li Ming, low health pool. Butcher, he's just going to kind of keep coming. He's a special case, and he's lots of self-support and that stuff. But there is an opportunity to poke this with great effect. Now, of course, their full comp immediately comes together. This is pretty scary. Butcher takes the long way around, it seems, from a body block. Nice little heal goes out. Okay. All right, so we got to go second to second here to really make some sense of this. Let's go back a little bit, because he just did the Lurking Arm, so great. We are coming completely fresh into this. No other talents to worry about right now, so he just wants to cast a good heal. It's going to spread around and get a slow on somebody who can feel it. That's the thing about slows. Don't put a slow on anybody standing still. If they're stunned, don't slow. It's not going to do anything. The duration goes. So if you're stunned for 2 seconds and you stun for 3 seconds, you still have a 2-second stun with a 1-second slow on the other side. So you're not stacking a 5-second pile of CC there. So the main thing you want to do if you have any sort of slow, and particularly if it's just a slow, like, Pulse here, I mean, no one's going to care about 22 damage. People may care a little bit, maybe Li Ming on the enemy side cares a little bit, about 80 damage, but for the most part, nobody cares. Nobody cares. So, put this slow into somebody who is currently walking to engage, running away, find those opportunities. If this thing just goes flying in randomly, if it hits multiple people, good. Alright, so there goes the heal. It even, oh, I didn't realize it had a face on it. Ugh. Yeah, it's got eyes. And like a stitched together mouth or something. Gross. Okay. So that flies. The Anubrak dives. The heal is currently on the Varian. Cool. Wait, Butcher. Butcher? Cool, okay. So I guess technically the heal should have gone into Sonya here, because he's got armor for the types of damage that he's currently taking. Here, Li Ming is very low effectiveness in the Infernal Shrine Spit because all these minions, magic missiles are going to be hit by these things. Arcane orbs aren't going to fly anywhere. So there's not a lot we have to worry about with Li Ming. So this is all auto attack damage from everybody here, but of course the Butcher. So armor on Arthas. Parry on Varian is currently doing work because it blocks auto attacks. So that's helping him from Butcher. So the first heal should fly into Sonya because she's the susceptible one, particularly at this level, particularly while locked down, without any sort of bonus healing talents yet. So, but the heal goes out, lands on Varian, spreads. Okay, gets to Sonya. We put out a slow. The slow is actually really good there. Great job. It hits the 2 targets that are in pursuit. So they actually feel the slow. They really feel the slow, actually. That's a great lockdown there. You come around and get smacked. Great job. Smack into the tank that doesn't have protection from you. Great job. Nice. Silence onto the healer. Sweet. You said you didn't stutter step. This is great. Great hit. That was a good hit too. That was almost a stutter step too. I mean, you said you don't focus on it, perhaps, right? Days. Heals for days. Is that what you're alluding to? Cool. Nice job. Good engagement. Helping clean up the pit. There's the Butcher. Pit's basically done. Greymaine's going well. Nothing you can really do to snag that down there anyway. Oh, okay. Oh, no! 2 of you inside. Looks like everybody's fine. Cocktail build continues. You're doing a bit of healing. Nothing wrong with that. We do have Protect at a Varian. Cool. So at least he's not insane if he does go Fury or something like that. Bring it on. Cool. Pretty standard. Cheap Shot is something to be aware of. 100% more damage. That can be pretty scary with the amount of stuns they have. Bed of Barbs, too. 25% slow. A slow 100% more damage. Yeah, so we're looking at a lot of spell damage suddenly out of the Butcher. I don't think there's anything you can do against that. But that does mean maybe our healing priorities change a bit. Basically, with Shield Wall, you never put anything into the Varian first. He doesn't need it. He's not in a hurry. Guess it would still be Sonya. Where's our numbers at the moment? On support, this is where you're really... Okay, so of course, Greymane first priority. Sonya, ooh, pretty low. All right, so we can already say Greymane followed by Arthas. Cool, we have a nice little heal priority. You end the Lurking Arm before activating your healing pathogen and your weighted pustule. Now you're on cooldown while still inside another cooldown. No good. Get both those out. Oh, you cast there your heal before putting out a weighted pustule. So you didn't get a pop of your pustule. Would this ultimately have changed this? Probably not.
In progress.
Probably not. Maybe the slow bonus of a pop would have done it, but probably not. All the same, simple rule. Everything cools down while you're in Lurking Arm, so put out your healing pathogen first, weighted pustule, wait out this 10-second cooldown, this 10-second cooldown during your Lurking Arm. Use Bio Kill Switch as you need it. Another Lurking Arm, same thing, back and forth, back and forth. The new problem with the level 1 talent pick is, of course, they upped the cooldown if you take Growing Infestation, which is a bummer, and can mess with this cooldown sort of juggling a little bit. Level 7, cool. Gilnea's Cocktail, Immortal Coil, Second Wind. That's looking more Fury by the moment. Let's see, Hurricane, cool. And nothing for the enemy team yet, but we'll see in just a moment. Seems you healed your passive Sonya. There could be a heal ticking on your Arthas right now. Ultimately, though, this isn't of insane importance, but great ways to optimize and continue to get better and whatnot. All right, well, with all our pauses, we've lost a little bit of track of when the next objective is going to be. Looks like they still have some time to spread out and around. That could encourage Varian to go a little ham. But it's Varian after all. You grab yourself. Range. Okay, cool. So let's make sure you don't get too seduced into the back. I still want those really good auto attacks you were putting into people like this Anub'arak. Great targeting. Sonya's kind of look. Oh, be brave, Sonya. Well, yeah. Oh, well. Aim your skill shots too, Sonya. That's a shame. Nothing happened to that. Could have been a great opportunity. Diva is already on the pad. You've got a heal. Let's put it into Varian. No point being mounted up as a support. It's right there. Keep those cooldowns rolling. Let's get a weighted pustule out. Into lurk. Great lurking arm timing all the same. Wow. Fantastic lurking arm timing. Cool. The pit is basically won. You have splash damage on your Greymane, so might as well go maybe soak the middle out a little bit. Maybe push out that bottom. Your inclusion here in this pit is not really speeding anything along with those slow auto attacks. But Greymane should also be in Morgan form, so he's doing the most DPS he can during this. Maybe a little weighted pustule action over to that Li Ming, just to be like, hey, I see you, I know who you are, I know what's up. We're gonna ruin you. Interesting. Another bomb like that. I wonder why she favors those so much. Seems like they're a couple seconds late. So a subpar lurking arm there stopped you from having your cooldown for when the Butcher came in. You know what's gonna happen? Unlikely. So I guess we can excuse that one. Cool. Heal into Sonya. Oh, you got it back. Cool. Thought you were gonna carry it off to no man's land for a moment. You got a 10. Ooh, you've had a 10 for a long time. Okay. All right, this has become a problem. Pick it. Good. Was there a choice you were going to make there? Was there actually a choice, or were you going to go massive shove in the first place? In which case, nice stacks, by the way. You're doing great on that. In which case, you should have just gone straight into it and had it a couple seconds earlier. Maybe you could have gotten something aggressive done. This looks like a pretty decent opportunity. Nice job, just shove that away. Another heal opportunity, good, good. Cool, these guys feel encouraged. Why don't you give them a big old lurking arm to say, yes, sir! Yes, sir, nice job. They decided not to do anything about it, that's fine. That's fine. Now you should probably ping retreat because the moment has passed. And they might think, well, the moment hasn't quite passed. They're not 10 yet, but this is getting a bit more silly. Some pressure into the top, though, isn't too bad. Possibly a dead diva. Ooh, good root, good root. Nice little silence. Did he use his dive to get back there, though? Did you need to silence? I think an auto attack would have done better. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, so just auto attack. No need to silence him there. Here comes Butcher. He's coming back. Cool. Great. Solid. Good job, everybody. Cool. Yeah. Oh, no, you can help Greymane out with this camp. You don't need mana that bad. You have enough for a lurking arm and a healing pathogen. So Greymane, you could have taken that camp. Might as well spend everything before you leave. All your cooldowns, all your mana, you're gonna go back to the well anyway. Just spend it all. Particularly as a support. Really nice feature. Like Malfurion, just blow everything before you hearth back. Even if you're healing a minion, it's all value. Because you're gonna replace that mana bar anyway. You're gonna throw it away, it's old. You ever just break anything because you're gonna throw it away? Oh, nope. Ooh, good hit, though. Oh, but she's still in there? Nice. Oh, well, I guess that, in the end, did help her get away, but it's not a big deal. Here at 9 minutes, she would have rezzed eventually. But Varian wants to continue this party for no particular reason. Oh, he's Fury. Well, that's why he wants to continue every party, because there's always a chance that someone messes up and he could win a fight. All right, well, the top is going. You've got both tanks in here, though. So you occupy both tanks, 3 people. What's the top, then? That gives us Greymane and Arthas, which isn't a bad combo either, versus Li Ming. Okay, so currently, actually, this is fine. Actually, this is fine, but do you personally know that Butcher is back at the base there? That's more the concerning thing. Great hit, though. Oh, Butcher's the computer. Well, maybe he'll be back. Okay, you see Butcher? Yeah, so if this was informed by you, fantastic job. You're reporting up top when the element changed and the comp actually needed you, kind of Brightwing style. Nice job. Cool. The heal goes out. Varian's quite deep, but he's Varian. He doesn't need no help. Good silence. Again, missed your pustule there, but solid. Still your bio kill switch too, which is really good. Nice little isolation there. Did cause a stun, but again, no pustule. So just pustule. You got the mana for it. That's great though. That's something you can execute today. Gar kill here. Yeah, you'll have to go get the pathogen from him now. Save that shove. There we go. Shove that diva. Now it's too late. Yep. 20 seconds cooldown doesn't matter that much. Where did Nubarak and all of them go, though? Good. How did you get there, Butcher? What are you doing there? Well, they're all going to collapse on Sonya, but we won the pit, so... Huh. Yeah, not much you can do in this situation here. And here comes the bomb again. She read some sort of guide that says only use your Diva Bomb. Or maybe she's just on bad rhythm, right? She used her Diva Bomb at that time. It's taken her all this time to get her Diva Bomb back every time. And so it's just when she has it. It's not actually some sort of strategy. It's just the way things are going. Camp 16? Okay, sure. Yeah, maybe we can get the camp there before we head back. Here comes Sonya. There's going to be a leap time period. Maybe we can get something cute done. Cool. Pointless little lane clear. You did reveal your walk around there, so you have certainly shown that this camp is being taken. Again, would love to see that weighted pustule there. There's a good weighted pustule. Oh, Varian. Well, at least he's protected. You got another one of those, champ? Might want to turn around and auto attack a little bit too. I'm talking to Varian here. Actually, you can turn around a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Nice job. Good heal. Should bounce. Nice. Find a zone. Get somewhere safe where you can lay down that increased range you got for yourself. You haven't made any use of your level 7 talent. Okay. So you did get yourself Virulent Reaction, which is a really cool pickup. But I think we're casting way too few pustules to really see this have an impact. I think with your play style, probably Lingering Spines would have been the best pick. But I like it, and I'm excited that you have been working on this. That's great. Got yourself Pox Populi. Cool. Sweet, easy talent little to use. I think you'll make good use of it. Anything else important? We got movement speed going. We got Remote Winners. Savage Charge. Oh, people are on fire. None of this really matters for our man here. Emergency shielding, but no, none of this really matters for our Stukov man. So, at this point then, little lull. He's 2 levels up. Let's take a little break. Varian's leading the way now. It's all single target, so Greymane has Greymane. He has completed his quest, okay. Greymane so far seems like a good performer. I really have enjoyed Arthas's positioning so far. I think Sonya's definitely just bruisering it up, you know? Just going wailing. I don't think there's anything too intense or impactful about what she's doing at the moment. Certainly not in the numbers, so we can favor healing Grey. Maybe Greymane doesn't feel confident. That'd be my thought here. What can I do to get Greymane's numbers higher? In fact, let's just double check real fast the siege numbers. Okay, so Greymane's doing a lot of sieging. Okay, so we don't need to really make him feel any more comfortable. Yeah, so sounds like everything's good. Fury Varian's gonna Fury. Takes a big hit there, but whatever. Cool. Yeah, you would be able to fight here. So you were really nervous, but the engage was just used by Butcher. You are in no danger. The only other thing you should really be concerned about is the Uther stun, but that didn't look like it was coming through either. Big push. Another bomb. Okay, so bomb actually, that's a pretty good bomb in comparison to everything that's happening. Boy, this is some 3-tank chaos. Nice silence, though. Wow, Uther trying to run. Oh my god, they're all trying to. Sonya takes a lot of damage. Whoa, nice. Cool, get up on this wall, smack it with your hand. Show those peeps around you that you mean business. That you want to take things. You're a by-the-throat kind of liver. Nice. Now you can do a little bit of readjusting. You saw on the Butcher there. You wouldn't want to be his original target. There's a... Where? Huh. He has the oddest... I guess that's really worked for him in the past. I don't know. Great opportunity there for you to set up your virulent reaction. Yeah, so you're simply not casting the weighted pustule. Which probably means that when you're behind, your games look pretty rough. And when you're ahead like this, because you're so support mindset, your team probably loves you. Nobody here is missing your weighted pustules. But it is a big hole I'm seeing, and a real opportunity to improve, particularly in a game you might be losing. And I think, too, yeah, the way you cancel, might be accidentally, but Lurking Spines could really be doing some work for you. Everything else I like a lot. And you've really been, while you do have to put out some less than stellar bio kill switches to complete vigorous free uptake, you're doing a good job getting the stacks and you're already done. Good silence, but no spells out at the moment. I'm sure Sonya would love a heal. Nice little push there to cause some chaos. We got plenty still going. Look at all these arcane spinnings, too. So occupying the fight in the air is just staffing Butcher full from doing anything. So Varian got a little confused there, but we're keeping a really good angle here. What I like about his positioning is that he's constantly between his tanks. Granted, he's got 3 of them at the moment, so it's pretty easy to do. But basically, draw a triangle. So that is Sonya is here, and you got Narkill, the Arthas, and the Varian. So down here would be his 2 peel tanks. And so, if you're curious about where to position yourself, you just make a triangle. Like this. That's your safest place to be right now. Sonya is up here, which means this triangle does extend and actually is more of a trapezoid kind of thing. But his positioning is perfectly fine because the Sonya and his 3-level lead. I still think he'd be a little safer, of course, down here or back here, but it's perfectly fine because of his level lead. The enemy's attacking from the top, so that's why I want to see this slight adjustment down that way. But he's currently lurking arming, I think, or about to throw something, so it looks like the position's about to change. Either way, great way to assess if you're standing in a safe spot. Cool. Tanks are going a little wild up there. This delayed heal, a heal like that, suggests that you want them to back. And that could, now you turned around. So you don't want them to back. So you gave a little bit of a confused body language there. Need a big heal. Sonya explodes. Good kill, though. Pinging your heal cooldown could be helpful here for the Varian. Yeah, so some confused body language. That could have been a lot easier if you had stayed true to whatever it... What do you want to do now? Do you want them to re-engage? Because that's what you're saying. What was the point of that pustule? Alright, you got a level 20. Cool. You picked up the norm. Push comes to shove. Okay. You want them to do that? That's fine. Will take a little bit, but they're pretty locked in the base. They got a bottom to clean up too. You see Li Ming in the top there, which probably means they're doing their other camp. We have double mid camps now, but there's no fort there, so no pressure's going to be happening out of that. But we can go address the Bruisers, and it looks like Varian's going to go do just that. And you have an opportunity to use that virulent reaction and get an isolation. Bomb's going off though. You're running into it. It's pretty obvious. That's not really a strategy thing. I just want to reach through time and go, no, save yourself. I'm rooting for you. Okay, cool. So it's time to back, right? You're past your 2 tanks right now. Now you're in a good position, but people are incoming. Nice prediction on the connection there, but no virulent reaction. Weighted pustule. Good job onto the butcher. Nice. Well done. Arthas has ghouls now, so we can assume that he wants to keep going for an extended period of time. Your Greymane needs some help, some encouragement to get him back in the field. Good connect. Go and line up that silence. Yeah, lining up the silence there. Granted, didn't matter, but the torpedo dash could have been Diva's escape, which is why I was interested in the silence there to follow up. You have another pustule. Put out the heal. Nope, we missed the heal. Now heal's bouncing. Cool. Should have done that a while ago. But this is the end. Should be the end. Yeah, here comes Sonya, so it's the end. I think. Right? Varian? Fury Varian. Auto attack though. Fury Varian. Focus up, man. It's gonna be okay. Alright, there we go. On. You got 2 catapults. Oh, the butcher's back up. Okay. Go Fury Varian. Well, that doesn't matter for Fury Varian. Okay. He did it. Cool. So healing numbers, great. Great numbers. Great damage. Solid. Great. Cool. This could be a higher number, but you beat the butcher, which is pretty darn good. But could have been higher. Pustules. Everything else pretty darn good, yeah. So change your spec if you don't want to actually make use of these things. But yeah, pustules seem to be your biggest thing. Oh, that pretty dominant little game. What'd you guys think? We could attack the core, but I'd rather... Yeah, truth. Howdy, Kudu. Oh, and thank you, Surly Duff. Hey, good to see you, man. Thanks for the Twitch Prime. Or the sub. Sub even there. DK66, thank you for the Twitch Prime. CNax12. Thank you for the Twitch Prime 2 months in a row. Hey, Freakily, good to see you, man. So I'm in gold. And I've been going top off at 4 and universal at 16. What are your thoughts? Oh, yeah, let's pull up a spec. I thought you were talking, I was going top off at 4. I'm like, what? Oh, we're talking about Stukov. Yeah, let's look at Stukov. Let's see. Where's his hat? There he is. Okay. Top off. Ooh, I don't see this. Heals over time on its initial target is increased by 50% when they're above 60% health. So you're using this to heal the tank up quickly. So with vigorous reuptake, you're making a choice and you're saying, I want to trade early game power for late game power. So top off would suggest to me that you have somehow noticed that you are having problems with poke. And your tanks, while they walk in to engage, are taking tons of damage on its initial target. So they're taking, so Diablo, big health pools, taking big hits from Li Ming as he walks in. But he's staying above 60% health. And I'm healing him up full off of that. And that power to top off Diablo at level 4 is more valuable than a 50% increased heal, or 40% increased heal now with the nerf, in the late game. That's a choice to make. So for me to assess that, I would have to know your games. But that's what you're working with, right? So vigorous reuptake, late game. Here you're saying, I want early game powers. I want armor, early game powers. I want one good spread, that's more of an all game sort of thing. I mean, these are all game things, right? But you're simply going to have a sudden impact, like playing an egg in Hearthstone. Right? You play an egg, let's say the card turns into a dragon in 4 rounds. So you just spent your turn 3 playing what's eventually going to be a 7/7 dragon, but you cost 3 mana to do nothing to the board. And only in 4 rounds will that egg become a dragon, is basically what's going on here. So you're making that choice, and you need to assess for yourself how that's gone. Universal X16, this would be the, Universal Carrier, which gives you continually spread through Stukov, but healing is reduced. Nothing wrong with that. Normally very late game, sure. Yeah. So yeah, that's solid. I mean, here you're making, when you're doing a Universal Carrier, you're saying that I'm not negating. The reason we took Stukov was because I wanted to play him as a support. I didn't take Stukov because I'm negating X. I'm not negating Zul'jin, or not Zul'jin, Zul Poison Novus. That won't be negated by this. Or Lunara Poison. Any sorts of dots. Maybe Gul'dan. Like, those would be bad choices to take Universal Carrier. But if the fights are mostly coming down to the big heals, and you're putting out a decent bio-kill switch, at times, you're not doing the vigorous reuptake sort of thing, so you'd have to deduce along the way. But it's not a bad build, and but would this work with top off? Because it's the initial target. So you would have to recast it, but that's not an issue to get that top off power. Oh, they led, wow.
You gotta think right now, MVP Black has all of their damage locked in.
Oh my god, why? Oh, maybe they were planning, right? So MVP Black bans the Ariel to pad out the Brightwing. I mean, so they got the first pick, so they saw the Illidan, so they went Brightwing, but still, that seems insane that this wasn't like a last pick. Shoot, maybe we should Brightwing. Let's Brightwing this thing. Oh, well, it seems like there's a pretty big hole here, but the main reason this really interested me was because MVP Black here seems to have won this game in about 8 minutes without a Tyrael or without that usual stuff we see in a game this short. Plus, it's a really big map, so it's rather impressive too. And of course, you know, we've been talking about how it can NA improve. Well, our Eastern teams tend to end their games a little faster. So let's go find someone to camp out on. Should we? Let's do... Oh, well, it's a little too tempting, but we got MVP reset. Let's follow MVP Rich, though. Let's go ahead and hang out on top of the Illidan player as they spray their own sprays. Good to know that MVP Rich uses a Brightwing announcer. One of the nice things, too, here is that I can do this nice little see their camera modes, and we can sit back and relax a little bit and just watch what MVP Rich does with his Illidan here to make for a 8-minute game. I'm just going to leave this on in the top, actually, because I'm just completely flabbergasted. The Happy Cloud, for those of you wondering, for such mad synergy, they all run straight into the top. And does he go over the wall? Why not? Straight into the wall. Yeah, clearly the Brightwing was a reaction to the die of Illidan in the draft there, but to not get anything else with it seems absurd. Let's take a look at the overall team for a moment here. We got Rhaegar going to the bottom. He's going to be up against 2. Great place for Rhaegar. He's going to hold out. They don't need him. We got damage and a tank in the middle, and support and sustain. So they made 2 nice little mini comps. Probably Tracer is in the most danger of anybody here outside of maybe Rhaegar if he makes a mistake. But these are pro players, Rhaegars and whatnot. And he just gets up on that wall. He doesn't care. He's got Tassadar to take care of him. The little Dahaka drag's not going to mind nobody. Those turrets are currently locked on to main minions anyway. It's a level of bullying you're not going to see in your Hero League games, and I'm happy for it. Cool, so he's going to get out of there just fine. Pops his evasion after the shield ends. Rhaegar got a buddy in the bottom, so he's now hanging out with that Tracer. So they're going to be able to push quite a bit. This does leave Muradin getting outpushed, but the weakest place you can push is the middle, because it simply gets the most traffic, and you're not going to create a lot of interesting things up there. By the way, this is something we throw around all the time, that the middle lane is the worst lane to push. It has to do with a number of things, mainly that you are always going to traffic through the middle, so as you move across the map and go back and forth across the top, you'll be passing through the middle regularly. You're going to clear it. It's not a place of danger. But also on this map, if you look at the Merc camps, Bruiser's in the top, Boss in the top, and then 2 camps in the bottom there as well of those giants, the fire bats, and then that has a boss too. So if you control the side lanes, the outer lanes, you're going to have more pressure because you can take a boss. Controlling the middle gives you nothing. Maybe the sight tower, maybe access to those 3 different nuke nodes, but it's simply not as important on this map because you're not going to win, usually, through the middle avenue. Good Dahaka catch yet again, though. I mean, you gotta assume that these Dahakas and everybody has seen this stuff 1,000 times, but the amount of bullying that a Tassadar can do... Wow, great reaction, too, to Falstad showing up in a rather little surprising angle. Tracer's now left, targeting Varian in the middle. Not too much is gonna happen out of that. Falstad lost his chance. Wow, actually. Two of them took out a variant. Well, he isn't protected yet. Rhaegar's still in that bottom doing just fine. And they're going to get the top fort at about 240. No, they do have to back out. Okay, that's a nice little isolation there. Illidan does have his friend or foe, so it's going to be used. Great time for a 4.
Warheads available for collection now.
Okay, Rhaegar is grabbing that bottom. Straight on in, doesn't care. Same level, too. But here comes Muradin, so kind of a delay tactic. And Greymane's got to run for it. Muradin jumps in the back. Good stun. These Dahaka tongues are inefficient at the moment, but still rather unreal, as they just keep landing on a mobile target like Illidan. There's the Brightwing. Another disengage. Muradin's last one out. Uses his armor. Rhaegar gets the bottom, it looks like, since Brightwing had to head into the top. Cool. Let's see what Rhaegar does with his nuke. After, of course, MVP Rich here kills the enemy Dahaka. And does explode himself. Nice little Tracer bomb there, though. Does remove the false dad. He's still actively looking around. Let's move over to Tracer real fast. Wait, nope. Let's go down to Rhaegar. Is he launching a nuke? Maybe. I'm curious to see how he uses this thing. He does. Okay, cool. So, the reason this happens here is because he wants to cover everything. He wants to get a little bit of everything. He wants this wall down. He wants these turrets to be gone. He mainly wants this well to be gone and a little bit of damage into here. So this is what you do when you're making a bomb drop and you're safe on the bottom lane. You do this top 2. You want to get through the wall, get rid of the well. Those are the main points. Putting it just onto the fort means you'll do a lot of fort damage, but you might not get the well, and you certainly don't get the wall down. So this is exactly where you want to be putting a nuke at this current time period. Here it comes. There goes the well. Boom. Value. Cool. They take control of the top. Force out the enemy team with a dead Dahaka. He burrows down to the bottom to go start soaking that, but nothing too good. Why is 1v2 good for Rhaegar? Because he has decent clear. He has some surprise attributes that I doubt pros are going to fall for, but mainly he takes care of himself. So kind of like Misha, Rexar. You have self-healing, you heal your bear, you have a decent amount of damage, enough pressure to push out and make something happen. So with Rhaegar there, he's basically calling 2 people to him. That means one person occupies 2, the other lanes are less busy. So anytime anybody who has that ability to solo lane, like a Rhaegar, a Alarak, a Sonya, there's no reason to ever be sad. There's no reason to ever panic either if you get 2 people in your lane and you're one of those solo laners, because everything is right in the world. Every other lane is now underpowered, and you have an advantage for the rest of your team. Plus here, Tastadar, so you have a second support, so he can be down there for extended periods without the team losing too much. Going on Merc camps. Taking out that back one first. These guys don't reposition each other. They have ranged attacks. So Illidan's making good use of his evasion every time, getting maximum audio attacks. Look at these battering assaults as well. Or sweeping strikes, I guess that's the level 1 talent that he took. He took Immolation here for lane clear. Friend or foe. Thirsting Blade. Basic attacks increase, sure. But yes, his sweeping strikes there were fantastic. Perfectly trained to go across that whole team. Getting in on that Brightwing, though. He does have an evasion if he wants to go into tower range there. Totem comes out, actually. Illidan heads back top, it seems, while the rest of the team pressures. What are you doing? What are you doing up here? Clearing it out, getting an advantage. Just stands in the spell damage. His evasion isn't doing anything for that. But decides to just heal through it, assert his dominance. A bit of a hit there too, but that's not a level 7 Falstad yet. Here comes Tassadar as well. Okay, Greymane pushes him out. Muradin is taking a camp over there, solo style. Wow, interesting. That wouldn't be very effective. So I wonder if it's a red herring for this push down here to get some effectiveness in, or maybe even bait, right? Because this is going to take a long time for a Brightwing, even everything that's shown up so far. Oh, that's no good. Well, good application of force. So they give up the camp, which may have gone to the enemy side either, and trade it for a Brightwing. That's rather fantastic. So Muradin bait there. Interesting. Nothing bad was going to happen to him, so why not? That also did give a pretty big distraction and let Illidan get going on this up here. Makes you think that's something we could all execute very easily. I mean, Team League, right? Hero League probably not going to work out too well. Guys, I'm going to go steal their campus tank. You guys push bottom while Illidan solos the boss in the top. Not a lot of opportunity. Straight on to the hero that arrived. Here comes Brightwing as well. Should be a reset on the boss in the background there. They'll be slowly healing up. Level 10, though, they're 3 levels up. Hunt into the Brightwing. Here's a Tassadar coming in, too. A little bit of slow beams. Oh, jeez. Tassadar here has actually done a pretty surprising pick as far as Tassadars in our home games go. Still getting that shielding, healing. Psion Fusion, actually, so going with a Storm build up front. Got a Psionic Projection, though, which actually is probably the superior pick here with a Tracer and an Illidan who are going to constantly outrange you. So that's something for us to think about at home. Piercing Bolt, real powerful against pros because you can do shots that other people aren't ready to see. Haymaker, which is kind of interesting, but hey, with 3 levels up and a whole enemy team that's pretty darn squishy at the moment, it seems like a pretty good pick. Plus, Brightwing, you're doing some more burst damage here, so you can really mess them up. I just love that MVP Rich here made the instant decision to go straight onto Haka. No waffling. No, I can squeeze out the boss just straight up onto it. That means he also maximizes auto attacks rather than running around in circles for an extended period. And will he go into lane and get a reset? He will. So he can hunt into the middle, possibly. Or maybe since they got, wow, 2 kills over there at the moment, they'll just keep going. In fact, he's going to keep going. Yeah, there's another stagger on its way out still. They're pre-10, so it's super short-winded. But he could make it down and drop the nuke on the wall. I don't think he can get the full-blown keep. The fancy circle with everything inside of it. Murden does nuke the middle, which is something we like to say at home is something you should never do. So there, it was done. Oh, because Murden wants another nuke, right? Murden wants a second nuke. Oh, was it another Murden red herring in a sense? Was his nuking the middle supposed to get everybody watching the Murden? God, they still don't have 10 on the enemy side. They can't even come in, the deadly kittens. He's just gonna go dive this because he's got evasion. Yep. Hey, not too greedy though. Actually does take his time and actually stays outside of it. So, you know, not like we do at home, where we just start soaking those shots. Ugh. But Greymane gets stuck solo defending down there. Now you got Falstad Dahaka in the top, so that's not enough damage for them to even take the boss. So they're maybe they're just trying to soak 10 as long as they can. All right, they go up in the wall. They got a boss now, and this has to be where they end the game, basically. So they get, what, one more good stagger onto Greymane, and that's it. Illidan locks on, and that'll be the end. A nuke on the shielding, actually. How interesting. Even before the keep was down. So that instantly, with 2 nukes, destroyed the shielding. But does mean they have to work through the full health. I guess it gives pressure. Again, something we don't want to do at home because we can't focus everybody forward most of the time. But here with the Illidan Tracer, where they just go ham on the board over and over again, and everyone's invested, I mean, you just win. You just win at the 8-minute mark. For reasons. Wow. So at that point, Tracer's doing pretty absurd damage, and she wasn't even the babysit target of the Tassadar. That seemed to be mostly Illidan. Really cute stuff with the Murden, though, there. That's really exciting. I really like that. I know some of my team for Team League is watching that, too. And I think some of you could make some use of that today. That's a cool tactic to use a really escape, heavy survivability character as a distraction, rather than that Sylvanas or that Murky like we like to do. And while it might have more push power, that's in lane, and we're making mercenaries happen, where instead we can use this on nukes, on objectives that we're trying to drag people away from, with a high chance of them getting out at the end. So you can imagine Murden goes top curse while we do bottom boss. Murden lasts as long as he can, maybe even dies, but we guarantee the boss, thanks to that distraction. If Murden looks like he's just fighting for as long as he can, people may think that the rest of the team's incoming, and may actually not go in on him. But we also learned that MVP Rich's Illidan is amazing, and I don't think anyone needed to learn that today.